SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage.
Good evening. It's not a good Friday, it's a great Friday. We've got a cracker from the SSE Airtricity League. It's the league leaders against the defending champions in a big Dublin derby at a sold-out Dalymount Park. Well, Bohs come into this one in scintillating form. 6 wins from 7 matches has them 3 points clear at the top of the table. Their fans will be hoping so, but could this be the year that Bohs end a 14-year wait for a league title? Rovers come to Dalymount Park on the back of a first league win of the season last weekend. They took the champions 7 matches to finally have lift-off. A 4-0 victory against Dundalk doing the trick. Stephen Bradley's side will be hoping to build on that momentum tonight. Live from Dalymount Park on Virgin Media 2, it's Bohemians versus Shamrock Rovers. Kick-off in just 15 minutes. Now, joining me in studio are Brian Kerr and the former Shells and Waterford manager and the former Bohs midfielder Ian Morris. We'll chat to them in just a minute. But first of all, let's check on the other games taking place tonight. A busy night across the Premier Division. Derry City could actually end the night in top spot. They're playing Drogheda this evening. Dundalk looking to bounce back from that defeat last week, playing Sligo. It's St Pat's against Cork. And there's another Dublin derby taking place as UCD are up against Shelbourne. A check too on the league table. Bohemians, as we said, leading the way at the top. 3 clear. They're 10 points clear of Shamrock Rovers, who start the night in 6th place in the table. OK, let's get into it. Ian, I suppose if this fixture didn't need any extra spice, as we said there, Bohemians have only gone top of the table. And obviously, Shamrock Rovers have had a disappointing start to the season, but it really is so well set up, this one.
Yeah, I think the hype to the game this week has been fantastic. We've built in, the night is excellent with the weather, the pitch is looking slick, and we should be in for a real treat tonight.
Brian, Bohemians were 33 points come the end of last season behind the champions, of course, Shamrock Rovers. I know it's early stages this season, but they're 10 points clear of them this early stage. What do you put that swing down to?
Well, it's very interesting. They've had a couple of poor seasons, bearing by their standards, 6th and 5th. The season before that, the COVID season, I'd call it, they were 2nd. But there's dramatic change. I mean, Keith Long did an outstanding job for Bohemians for many, many seasons. They moved them on last year, eventually, and they brought in Declan Devine, a very interesting recruit, I'd say, as the manager. It's not often you see a non-Dublin manager getting a Dublin job. So, but he's built a new team. There's very few of last year's team around. Ali Coote is still around, James Talbot's still around, Falabi is still around. He didn't play very much last year. But the majority of the team is a new team. Keith Buckley has come back, he was away. But some really interesting signings, and they've obviously blended well, the two Polish centre-backs, Paddy Kerr coming back out with Sligo and Adam MacDonald coming in from Sligo as well, Declan McDaid. They've managed to get it going. I think it was a start when they won in Cork, got them off to a great start. And since then, they've just blended quite well. Interesting, we look at the teams later tonight, few changes in the team. Young McMahon is not starting. But it's just got flowing for them. But I think tonight, and Monday's game against Derry will give them a much better picture of where they really are for the season ahead.
Ian, if that's why Bows have made a good start to the season, what do you put Shamrock Rovers' sluggish start to the season down to? Just that 1 win in 7?
Yeah, I think defensively they've struggled. It's been their worst season for goals conceded, and since Stephen took over the job, really. So they need to shore up at the back. They're creating chances, they're just not getting the rub of the green. So I think if they can defensively get it right tonight, that they've got, without doubt, the quality to go and take anyone apart in the league. So if they can be better defensively, it'll give them that platform to go, and the top end of the pitch will dominate the game if they can get them on the ball.
It'll certainly be interesting to see. OK, let's check in with both camps. Here's Anne-Marie Keegan with both managers.
Declan, how much confidence can you take from your start to the season heading into this one?
I think we take huge confidence. We've done very well, but that's all it is. It's a start. As I said already, delighted with the application of the players, delighted with the quality that we've assembled in one transfer window. But the players have responded brilliantly to playing, for such a prestigious club. They've went about their business in every game so far with really high levels of quality, high levels of intensity, and we just want to continue that tonight.
In order to continue that, to keep that winning run going, will you have to produce your best performance of the season tonight?
I haven't even thought of that. I think the players are capable of going up the gears, absolutely. We've had some real high levels of performance so far, and we just want to keep doing what we do on a daily basis. We train well every day, players work extremely hard, and we've got players that can hurt anybody, no matter who the opponent is, and we just want to perform tonight and give a performance, and hopefully that will take care of a result.
Your captain, Keith Buckley, comes back in tonight. How important could his experience be for this kind of game?
I think Keith Buckley is, he's an awesome person to have about. His leadership qualities, his knowledge of the game, his willingness to do what's right for the team is instrumental to us. He's been missed over the recent games, but to bring him in for this one tonight, I think, is massive for us. But as I say, look, we're going to need everybody tonight. We need our subs bench, we need everybody pulling in one direction, and that's the one thing you're guaranteed with Keith Buckley. He'll make sure everybody's ready to go.
Stephen, 3 changes from the side that beat Dundalk last week. Talk us through your thinking with those changes.
We've had an illness in the camp the last few days, and unfortunately it struck a number of players. Some are not well enough to be involved, and 1 or 2 obviously dropped to the bench as well. So changes that are forced on us, but look, that's the way it goes.
How big a challenge is it for your players tonight coming to a sold-out Dalymount Park?
It's a tough game. The top of the league, they're playing well. Dublin Derby, all of that. It's definitely a difficult game, but I feel it's one that we're ready for. We've been performing well, and we just need to try and hit them levels again.
You've been involved in quite a few Dublin Derbies now at this stage. What's key tonight to coming out on top?
Just focus, small details. These games are usually won on the small details, fine margins, so we just got to focus and concentrate for 90 plus minutes.
So let's have a check on those two teams. Ian, what do you make of this Bows team? So the big headline here is Keith Buckley returns.
Yeah, a big call as well. I think young James McManus, has been one of the standout players in the league this year. And interestingly enough, he's completed the most passes for Bows this year in the league. So he's going to be a big miss on moving that ball and keeping things ticking over. As well, Grant Horton coming back in at right back. It's the 3rd right back Bows have used this season. So I'd look at that as an area that I'd expect Rovers to go after.
Brian, the Shamrock Rovers team, so the team wins 4-0. You're not expecting changes, but obviously there's a bit of an illness in the camp, as Stephen said there.
I was surprised when I saw the lineup, given how well they played in Dundalk, and they were 3-0 up before Stephen made changes last week. But obviously there's a problem with Richie Towell and Gary O'Neill. They aren't even on the bench, and John Kenny, who's come back from Celtic, who scored last week, scored an important goal early in the game. So, they're forced changes, but the quality coming in, Graham Burke, top scorer last year, former international, not always a regular in the side, but he's 3 goals this season, top scorer. Watts, a former Bows player, left Bows in 2018. Marcus Pume, Estonian international, coming in into the middle of the pitch. I'd say he's disappointed to have to make those changes, but at least it's a more settled team. Jack Bourne back in very good form. Farouja on the right-hand side was really good in Dundalk last week. So it's a strong side, a lot of experience at the back. Ian mentioned earlier why they're not doing so well. Ian said the problem's the back. They've conceded 10 goals this year. They only conceded 22 in the whole of last season. So that shows you they've had a couple of sticky ones to 4-4 with Cork in particular. Would give you a little bit of concern from Rovers' point of view, but it's a massive match for them. They can't afford to go 13 points behind Bohemians or possibly 10 behind Derry at this stage of the season. It's a huge amount of ground to make up.
Okay, lads, so how's this one going to go? Ian?
I just think with Boh's momentum, the changes that Rovers have had to make, I think Bohs will be strong favourites to win this game.
Would you go along with that, Brian?
No, I think there's so much at stake. There's much more at stake for Shamrock Rovers, given the position they're in with only one win this season and so far off the top, that I think that they'll have to produce something to get something from this game tonight, if not win it. I don't think they'll get beaten, but you never know. Bohs have turned them over frequently enough in the past with weaker sides than they've had tonight, and without the momentum Ian has mentioned.
Okay, an interesting night ahead. Our live match tonight, of course, is the league leaders Bohemians against the league champions Shamrock Rovers. Throughout the night, we'll keep you up to date with all the other action around the League of Ireland, and we'll get goals from all those games. But now, we'll pass you over to our commentary team of Graham Gartland and Dave McIntyre.
Yes, thank you, Bernard. Good evening, everyone. Well, few would have envisaged this state of play 7 games into the new season, but it is one of the most eagerly anticipated Dublin derbies in recent times, and it has the 4 in a row chasing Shamrock Rovers a full 10 points behind their hosts tonight. We've got the Republic of Ireland senior football manager Stephen Kenny alongside Uachtaráin Heron, Michael D. Higgins in tonight. There was scarcely a ticket to be had around Dalymount Park in the build-up to this game, because this is a Bohemian side that has excelled under Declan Devine over the opening few weeks of the new campaign. It may only be April, but there's already a sense that this is simply a game that Shamrock Rovers cannot lose. Graham Gartland alongside me this evening. It's not been the start that Rovers would have been looking for. It's been just the opposite of that, a real contrast with Bohemians. What are you expecting tonight?
I'm expecting a really tough game, a competitive game. I think it's going to be a really good show this evening. Like you said, it's the only show in town. Everybody's trying to get a ticket for it, and it makes for a cracking game.
On an absolutely beautiful spring evening as well in Dublin, and what a wonderful shot of the old ground, Dalymount Park that is. As we wait for the 2 sets of players to make their way onto the field. It's been a really interesting opening few weeks of the season. Few would have expected Bohemians to be in this position under their new manager Declan Devine. And likewise, very few would have expected Shamrock Rovers to come out in the opening 7 games of the new campaign with just a single victory to their name. It did come in their most recent game, however, and they know that playing Bohemians twice in a month gives them a real opportunity to just take a significant chunk out of the deficit that stands currently between them and their Dublin rivals. And they will also be fully aware that Bohemians have to travel to Derry City on Monday evening, so things could change very quickly. These are unlikely to be season-defining days for Bohemian season, but at the same time, the next 4 days will give us a real sense of their capacity to sustain a genuine title challenge over the coming months. Perform and get results against Rovers tonight and Derry on Monday, and the rest of the league will be left with no choice but to sit up and take notice. The atmosphere has been building for the best part of a couple of hours here at Dalymount Park. There tend to be 2 teams that bring out the best in each other. And when the fixture list comes out in the build-up to any new campaign, the Shamrock Rovers Bohemians games are those that you will go to very quickly, looking to see exactly when they are. That's our match referee in the middle of the field. Let's hope he has as good an evening as the players out there this evening. And it is the football that does the talking. The Jody stand here at Dalymount Park absolutely packed to capacity as Shamrock Rovers and Bohemians meet for the first time this season. Our match referee is Rob Harvey. He actually took charge of this fixture at the Tallaght Stadium between the sides in June last year. Rory Gaffney got the only goal in a victory for Shamrock Rovers. The match ball, as you can see, has been well and truly delivered. And we are just a couple of moments away from getting things up and running here at Dalymount Park. Well, you know how hostile the atmosphere can be at times from your career as a player, Graham. And it's very much the case tonight.
Yeah, it just has to be a level of controlled aggression from both sides, really. The crowd are going to play their part in it. They try and influence the referee at times as well. But these are the games that players want to play in. It's a packed house. All eyes are on it. Virgin are here covering the game. It's fantastic, and it's everything you want as a player. But again, make sure that it doesn't spill over into and do something silly that costs your team. Controlled aggression would be the mantra for both sides going into this.
Well, Lee Grace and Keith Buckley have met at the centre circle, and before the game gets underway tonight, there's going to be a moment of reflection on the recent passing of Bohemians club member Jimmy Lambert, a lifelong fan of the club who was a fixture around Dalymount Park for many, many years, and he will be very much missed. And the thoughts of everyone in the League of Ireland family very much with the family and friends of Jimmy Lambert. Well, before we get things up and running, let's take a look at the two teams lining out tonight. 4 changes for the Bohemian side. The start of the win in Sligo last weekend. Grant Horton is in for Jay Bennett right back. Club captain Keith Buckley reunited with Adam MacDonald in midfield, having missed the last 3 games. Well, there are 2 changes in attack. Declan McDade and Dylan Connolly supporting Jonathan Afolabi up front. The Polish player Christian Nowak and Kacper Rutkowski have now started all 8 games at the back this season, as is the case with Ali Coote, who's been outstanding in that number 10 role in this superb start to the new campaign. Well, despite earning their first win of the season a week ago against Dundalk, Shamrock Rovers manager Stephen Bradley has made 3 changes. Into the side come Marcus Poon, Dylan Watts and Graham Burke. Richie Towell, Gary O'Neill and Johnny Kenny are the 3 to drop out. Rory Gaffney leads the attack, looking to build on the 2 goals and 2 assists that he's delivered in his last 4 games. The back 3 remains intact, led by the captain Lee Grace. So Rob Harvey almost ready to get us up and running. The 3rd time in the last 3 seasons he's taken charge of this fixture. And let's hope that he has a quiet evening. We are pretty much good to go at Dalymount Park. The biggest game that either of these sides would have played so far this season. And while it is early days, Shamrock Rovers are not where they want to be, not where they need to be. And perhaps having dispatched Dundalk with such ease at the weekend, Graham, that was the beginning of it, and they'll be looking to build on it tonight.
Yeah, and I think Stephen Bradley touched on it. He was happy with the performances. It's just that they weren't getting the results he felt they deserved. Against Dundalk, they did that. They scored goals, albeit Dundalk had a player sent off, and that makes it tough for them. But like you said, if they can keep 10 men, and both teams need to keep 10 men on the 11 players on the pitch tonight to make sure that they stay in the game.
Well, it was really good strength shown there by Dylan Connolly, just dispossessing his opposite number, Graham Burke, rather easily. And that was well judged as it dropped from the air by Jack Byrne. Releases Gaffney down that left-hand side.
Yeah, it was really clever from Sean Hardy, seeing where the overload was and clipped it out to Byrne.
Byrne doesn't win that one in the air. It's not a down, but the Rovers, and here they come again now, laid off by Burke, and a chance to get a decent ball across, and it was very well defended by Novak. He could very easily have turned that towards his own goal. The ball forward, though, towards Jonathan Afolabi wasn't the best. Time for Burke to get turned. Burke again. A few touches already for here is Gaffney, who got the winner the last time these two sides met, and played forward by Pooh, and all the way back to Sean Hoare.
You can see they seem to be overloading this left-hand side. Rovers, Bourne and Burke are both on this side, and Gaffney pulls out as well sometimes with Kavanagh.
Well, Byrne looking for that early ball towards Gaffney, just angled away from the centre forward and into the waiting arms of James Talbot. But if they continue to afford Jack Byrne that sort of space in the middle third, you would imagine eventually he will punish Bohemians.
Yeah, you see he just makes eye contact with Gaffney, and Gaffney peels on the back of the centre back. Talbot reads it well and comes out and smothers.
Talbot goes long and all the way down towards his opposite number, Alan Manus. A record-breaking week for Alan Manus, having kept his 121st clean sheet for Shamrock Rovers against Dundalk, surpassing the previous record of Alan O'Neill. Now over 100 clean sheets in the League of Ireland Premier Division as well. Whipped out towards Sean Kavanagh. Now Byrne again. And snapping at his ankles was great, or rather was Dylan Connolly. Down towards Afolabi. Burke. And a couple of very tasty challenges going in already. That one on Ali Coote, the former Scottish underage international, who's had a really good start to the season. He's undroppable at the moment for Declan Devine.
Yeah, a lot of the good stuff they do comes through Coote. He has 4 assists this season and 2 goals on top of it. He looks to link up with Afolabi as much as he can.
You can see Stephen Bradley wasn't happy with a couple of the decisions that have gone against his side over the last couple of minutes. That's an early ball played over the top for Connolly now. He only has Afolabi inside, and he's looking at the edge of the area, just grazing the post with that effort from Ali Coote, who arrived on the scene at the perfect time with that late run, and he just couldn't steer it inside that left-hand post.
Yeah, and he knows it's a massive chance. It's a brilliant ball over the top. Grace and Kavanagh just switch off, and Connolly just gets in behind. It's a great cutback from him. Coote to be disappointed he hasn't hit the target. You can see he thinks it in. It just bends away from the post.
It was a really good run from Connolly, and Coote just couldn't hit the target. Has scored against Rovers in the past, the 12th time he's faced them tonight. Here's Byrne, looking to fire one over the top for either Gaffney or Burke, whoever may have got closest to it, and all the way through to Talbot it goes.
You can see he just wants to pull off the right-hand shoulder of Buckley and playing this inside left channel, Bourne, and he found him 2 or 3 times now, but Coote's away again.
Well, he'll be disappointed with his touch there. It just gave Lee Grace the opportunity to send it clear. A checkered career against Bows for Lee Grace. Didn't win on any of the first 10 times he's played against them. He's won 8 of the last 11. And you feel Rovers will need to make it 9 and 12 from his point of view if they're to really get themselves back up and running and into this title race as early in the season as it may be. Bows looking for a 5th consecutive league victory here at Dalymount Park, going back to the final weeks of last season. Bradley looks on, a long ball forward towards Gaffney. Now Burke, and he hits one. Struck it pretty well, had Talbot worried momentarily.
It's just the second ball he picks up in midfield. I think Dylan Watts comes onto it, picks up the second ball, plays it out to Burke. You can see his first touch just sets him and he hits one straight away. But it was always going over the bar. Watts is onto the second ball in the light. His first touch just gets his head up and pulls the trigger on it. I think Talbot has it covered.
Looking to add to the 3 goals he's already scored against Bows in his career. Falabi trying to hold things up, and just a little flick around the corner for Declan McDade. And that's the opening corner kick of the evening.
This time Bows pick up the second ball. It's a header and it finds Afolabi's feet. It's a great little flick around the corner to the outside of his right foot. McDade would sometimes check back to play on his right foot and goes out to a corner kick.
First full season for McDade, having arrived in July of last year. And that one clipped all the way across towards Buckley. And the acrobatic effort is straight at Alan Mannus. That would have been a spectacular goal from Grant Horton. He needs to get back into his defensive position now. Demanding this ball is Dylan Watts, and he has it. On a heavy touch. Well, that's not what Shamrock Rovers would have been looking for. From Neil Ferrugia. It's been a lively opening 7 minutes or so. And it's just beyond Gaffney. Space for Horton on this near side, but the pass needed to be better. And tidied up by Sean Kavanagh. Back towards Mannus. Shamrock Rovers just getting themselves into a little bit of a tangle here.
It was actually sloppy. The first ball out to Horton wasn't great neither, but Kavanagh doesn't deal with it, and they end up just putting themselves under a bit too much pressure, Rovers.
Byrne, Gaffney trying to time his run, and Byrne almost found him.
It's actually a great interception from Mikowski there. He does really well to stretch out a big long right leg. He's a big lad, but he used every inch of it to get to the ball.
Here's Novak. Horton. Clever ball inside, and the first touch was a really good one. And off foes go again through Ali Coots, who's really having an influence in this game already. Now Connolly. Too close to Mannus. Showing no sign of slowing down, Alan Mannus. 41 years of age next month. Long ball by Kavanagh. In the air by Gaffney. And hooked forward by Adam MacDonald, who has captained the side of the last couple of games in the absence of Buckley. Nice take by Burke. Oh, excellent feet from him. And digging the ball out was Dylan Watts, and then Byrne feeds it down that right-hand side. Green and white hoop shorts pouring forward. Gaffney, though, was a little on his heels, wasn't expecting that ball to be threaded through. And in the end, he's committed the foul.
We all know Ferrugia's going to come in on that left-hand side, and once the fullback follows him, the gap is there for Gaffney to run into, but the ball is just overhit. Really good defending in the end from Paddy Kirk to get back in and around, and Gaffney ends up clipping his heel.
Buckley. Now Paddy Kirk. Brad Horton. Now Connolly. And he's overcooked that one.
And Dave, that's where Bows might get joy in the build-up play, is playing through the full-backs, because Rovers wing-backs then can't jump out. It's too far for them to travel, and you can see they've gone out to the right-hand side, back out to Paddy Kirk, and then back across to Grant Horton, who ends up putting I know Dylan Connolly puts a cross into the box, but they've worked the ball up the pitch really well, just by playing through the opposite full-backs.
It was pretty loud over on that far side for Neil Ferrugia. And even at 23 years of age, he's plenty experienced. He's featured in all 8 games now this season. This is 7th start, and he's done very well again there. It's so congested in there. Real scrap for possession. Adam MacDonald did come out with it. There will be a Bows throw-in.
It's the second time he's followed Watts in as well. He got away with one earlier, Watts, where he opened out and plays it out to Ferrugia. This time MacDonald nicks it.
It's a clever ball in towards Apple Albion. Just trying to turn the defender.
It's a hard one for him. He's probably looking for support around the front from someone like Coote that he can just set, and then Coote can come on and maybe apply a finish to it.
Buckley just patrolling that area in front of Gaffney, and plays a good ball forward now to Ali Coote. And there's the run and the pass through. Really good challenge, just as it looked like Dylan Connolly was going to pull the trigger. Excellent piece of defensive play at the end. Connolly with a really well-timed run.
It's brilliant play all round again from Ali Coote. Just checks inside. Great run from Connolly from outside to inside, but Grace tracks him all the way. And what a well-timed tackle that is from Lee Grace.
Here's McDade. And now Rajkowski and Novak. Horton. Lost by Poom. And the flag was up on the far side. And here's this real potential goal-saving challenge that came in for Grace on Connolly.
It's an unbelievable pass from Coote. Just chops down on his right foot. Really weighted, but it's a brilliant tackle from Grace as well.
Long ball from Novak was cut out well by Grace. Those have it again though. Buckley. Now Horton. Back it goes to Novak. And got the winner at Sligo last weekend, his first goal for the club. Cleared by Cleary. Byrne. The man is taking no chances. Missed by Buckley. Knew exactly what was in his mind before that ball even arrived at his boot. It was a lovely ball across to McDade. But again, Farisha's doing his job, his defensive duties very well. He's sticking to them on that right-hand side.
Like you said, he knows McDade wants to check back onto his right foot, but that's checking back onto Farisha's strong left foot as well. So it's a really interesting battle over on that side of the pitch.
McDade again. Clear by Grace. Gaffney. Byrne. Lee Grace, there was a lot asked of him there, and now Shamrock Rovers could be in a little bit of trouble. The ball slipped through again, and he didn't get much on it, Ali Coote. Again, the run was well timed, but it was an easy save at the end for Alan Manus.
Yeah, he's been the most influential player on the pitch so far, Ali Coote. It's another strike on goal. It's a really good ball from Connolly. I think it's through his legs, and the shot has ended up through his legs. Manus does well to smother it.
Well, that's a foul by Gaffney on Paddy Kirk. Kirk is still down. I think it'll just be a talking to this time for Gaffney.
He competes for the first header, Gaffney, and the ball just spills down and he's gone in. Kirk's obviously looks like he's just trying to get contact on, and Gaffney hangs out his boot.
Here's Novak. Horton under real pressure every time he gets that ball in the ad area from Sean Kavanagh. Controlled by Sean Horn. lovely feet from Marcus Poom. Graham Burke looked like he was coming back from an offside position, but no flag. Gets it back from Poom again. Spots the run forward of Dylan Watts. Cleared by Novak.
Yeah, Novak has his hands up because he knows it comes from his original pass up the pitch. He started to miss kicks one into the middle of the park, and Rovers then go on the counter-attack, and Burke comes back around, and that allows Watts to attack, but he does well to prevent the corner.
Grace. Ferrugia leaves it for Byrne. Again, that early ball targeting Gaffney. Gaffney's in behind here, and Gaffney needs a little bit of support. The referee and his assistant agree that that ball is out, but we've seen that ball on multiple occasions already. Jack Byrne just on the swivel. An early ball over the top. Gaffney knows exactly what's in his mind.
Yeah, Bourne just does a little drop out into a right back position nearly. He picks up the ball. It's a wonderful ball over the top. It just wouldn't sit for Gaffney to pull the trigger on it, and ends up running out of play.
And that was lost by Marcus Poom. Here's Dylan Connolly. Connolly's done pretty well there. He was in a race with Lee Grace for that one. There was some contact, but the referee not really seeing enough in it.
We see it again here, Dave. He does brilliant. He just runs at him. Goes straight at Grace, and he has him here. I don't think he needs to go down. The right arm comes out for Grace, but that's a dive then in the end.
Good back for Buckley.
Actually think he needed to go down, did he? I think he has the run on Grace, and he just doesn't need to put his two legs together and go over.
There's another view of it here. And he just throws himself rather theatrically to the ground once the challenge had come in.
You said that rather theatrically as well.
Bohs have certainly had the brighter moments in attack, but they'll be wary of that Jack Byrne, Rory Gaffney combination.
It's when he just drifts into wide areas, whether it's an inside right channel or an inside left, and he finds little pockets either side of MacDonald and Buckley, and then once they're trying to protect the back too, so it's hard for them to get out.
Gaffney and Markowski with a real scrap as that ball dropped. There's a lovely little layoff from Declan McDade, and he's been released again. Afalabi with his arm up, waiting for it. The ball won't find him yet. And coming onto it with interest was Adam MacDonald, but he couldn't break through either.
Yeah, and it was Marcus Poole making it back there to make it a vital challenge. But really good play again from Bohs. McDade just pops a little 1-2 inside and they're away. This time MacDonald leaves his midfield to try and support, and he's unlucky not to get onto it. But really good tracking from Poole.
Straight ball over the top, dealt with by Sean Hoare. Quickly onto it with MacDonald, and it breaks out again. He just wasn't waiting for the ball through out of MacDonald. In fairness, it was overhit in his direction. Ollie Coote will feel he should have done better there.
I think Coote originally thinks he's going to pull the trigger himself, and then the ball just gets away from him, and he ends up playing the pass then, and he sees MacDonald out of the corner of his eye.
The Rovers shading the possession. The Bohs have certainly had the better chances. Norton facing his own goal, wasn't left with many choices. Kavanagh and Burke combining. Well, they've done that really nicely. And Ferrugia can't keep that one alive. And that tells its own story inside the opening 22 minutes. Adam Manus has certainly been the busier of the two goalkeepers, although he hasn't really been called upon to make a save of any consequence as yet. Off goes Gaffney again, flanked by the two Polish centre halves.
That's why Buckley's in the team. You've seen the header's not great, hasn't got much distance on it, but he's back around to win seconds. Stop Rovers coming onto the ball in the final third for Bows.
People looking for tickets all week for this game, and there was no one willing to give them up. It's been a story of the League of Ireland season all over the country, really. The sold-out signs have been going on with regularity, which is great to see. Here's Kavanagh. Byrne. For two. Oh, there's a really good 50-50 involving Bray and Burke and McDonald there. The Rovers come out with it though. Dylan Watts. Now Grace. Sean Hoare, not his best. Toms have approached this opening 25 minutes with a real sense of confidence. The confidence aside tends to show, and they've been on the run. These guys have been on in recent weeks.
Yeah, they've been on the front foot. Then comes from the likes of Buckley and McDonald in midfield, just getting around bodies. But they're playing forward, and they're playing off Afolabi, they're playing off Connolly, they're playing off McDade, they're playing into them as early as they can, and then Coote's the one that's backing them up, and he's bringing such quality for them in that final third.
Kavanagh. It's been lost by Brian Burke. Watts was under a little bit of pressure from Buckley.
It wasn't a great pass from Horton, straight into the middle of the pitch. The pass was actually straight into Afolabi.
Lovely body swerve there from Ali Coote, just made a little bit of space for himself. More frequently the Bohemians can get the ball into the feet of their number 8, the more likely they are to cause problems for this Rovers defence.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. Even these small little touches have been brilliant.
Real productivity from him in recent weeks as well. He's a couple of goals and 3 assists in his last 4 games for Bohemians. Watts. A little bit of space for Kavanagh. Cross it goes to Cleary. Good pass by Burke. Here's Kavanagh again. This is better from Shamrock Rovers, moving the ball with a little more purpose. Away by Horton, only as far as Burke. Burke gets his head up, fires with a cross, and that could have ended up anywhere. It came off Christian Novak, and thankfully from a Bohemians point of view, it was straight at James Talbot.
He just fires across goal. You can see Horton's on his back foot trying to head it, and Connolly isn't onto it. Burke flashes onto it, and he just flashes this across goal, and Novak swings a right foot at it. And he's blessed it goes into Talbot's hands.
On either side of his goalkeeper, and that could have been a real awkward moment for Christian Novak. Here's Afolabi. Coote. McDonald. Taken nicely by McDade. But Farrugia gets the better of it that time. McDonald coming over for the challenge. Farrugia certainly wasn't going to shirk it. And here come Rovers. And I think the adrenaline was still coursing through the veins of Farrugia. He probably kept it for a little too long.
He's done unbelievably well to go through the first 2 tackles. It was fantastic, but you're right. Bourne's on the inside of him, and you can see he's just looking for it. He might have been better off just rolling to him. The excitement probably got a bit much from on that side.
And then Farrugia might be looking forward to the second half when he can play in front of the away supporters. It's pretty atmospheric over on that far side. And a lot of head shaking on the Shamrock Rovers bench. Hasn't exactly gone the way of Jonathan Afolabi in this first half. He's been well marshalled by that Rovers back three.
He's up against lads who are physical. They have a lot of pace behind them. Hoare, Cleary and Grace are all quite pacey on the turn, and the recovery pace is good, but they're physically able to handle them as well. Plus, they have a lot of experience. So it's a good battle for them up in them three.
And here's the aforementioned Afolabi again. Again, it just gets away from him.
But he's done great because he's got balls up the pitch. He's done brilliantly well there.
Horton. Well defended by Kavanagh. Comes to nothing from a Bows point of view. And half an hour in, a sense maybe Rovers are really starting to settle into this game, because you could argue that Bohemians were the better of the two teams for that opening quarter.
Yeah, Bohemians came out of the gates really well. Like, they were more aggressive, they were on the second balls a lot quicker, and that led to a lot of chances, especially like we said when Coote was involved in the game. Rovers have just settled a little bit more and have a little bit more controlled possession in the last 5 minutes, and again Burke and Bourne just drifted into wider areas, allowing them to get control of the game.
Sean Hoare for Grace. Byrne. And 3 forward for Shamrock Rovers here. One was Burke. And Kavanagh will be happy enough to settle for the corner kick.
Burke just takes off on the centre back, and Kavanagh's on the outside. Bourne just plays a hopeful ball down, hoping it just becomes a chase. Balls have to clear it, and it's the first corner kick for Rovers.
And the sun has set here in Dublin. We're under the floodlights at Dalymount Park. No goals as yet, but it's been a really entertaining opening half an hour or so.
And they've packed the box here, Rovers, right in on Talbot for an in-swinger from Bourne to come in.
8 Shamrock Rovers players in that penalty area. Whipped in by Burke. Great header off the bar. Still not clear. And that's as close as Shamrock Rovers have come. Gaffney on the turn. And Bohemians can breathe a sigh of relief as Afolabi looks to get them on the counter with that early ball through. And it goes all the way back to Alan Manas. Well, Shamrock Rovers, who always are a threat at set pieces, and they know they were an inch or two, a lick of paint almost, from taking the lead.
It's a really well-worked set piece as well. Hoare just starts at the back post. One of the other players comes across and pins his man, and he pops out and gets a header. I think Talbot touches it onto the bar, and if he did, it's a fantastic save.
Here's Gaffney now, trying to get past Rakowski, and he has done. Needs an option, might go alone. He was looking to play one through for Byrne. Sent in by Watts towards Kavanagh. Not sure Horton was intending to head it back to his goalkeeper, but it's worked out.
Yeah, he had an overload at the back post area with Kavanagh and Bourne. You can see Horton's looking for help off Connolly, but that's a fantastic header.
I'm not sure Talbot got anything on it.
Giving him too much credit there. You can see it's just a really well-worked corner. Hoare's man just gets blocked and he pops out.
He has previous against Bohemians, Sean Hoare. He's scored 3 times against them. He's actually won here as well with St. Pat's and Dundalk as well as Shamrock Rovers. Referee is just waiting for the game to restart here while there's some treatment given to Dan Cleary. Just a little bit of blood to be taken care of for the Shamrock Rovers centre half. So Rovers are down to 10 men at the moment. The referee happy enough to wait for him to be reintroduced. Surprising the referee hasn't allowed play to restart. And now Alan Manus is down at a picture and needs a little bit of treatment himself. Chance for everybody at Dalymount Park to draw breath.
Might be clever from Manus here because he knows that the referee can't restart the game if there's a goalkeeper down injured.
Well, he certainly doesn't lack an experience, does he, Alan Manus?
I think he's just used it all there as well.
250 appearances for Rovers. And it does look like Dan Cleary's fit and ready to resume his duties at the back. So play resumes. Just over 10 minutes left in this first half. Time to take that and get turned and feed Ali Coote. Horton, Afalavi, good strength, takes him away from Poom, and a little bit of space now for Connolly. Horton, first time, not a great delivery.
The pass back from Connolly just needed to be softer to him, and would have allowed him to step onto it and just put his right foot around the ball and put it into a dangerous area. It was just pinged back at him a little bit too much. But good play from Bowles, really good pick out from Nadowski into midfield, and it opens Buckley up. You can see Devine just encouraging his team to play more and trust each other on the ball a little bit more, and he can play through and around.
First half for Dylan Connolly. He's come close to opening the scoring. There's Coote. Oh, it was a neat little turn away from Graham Burke. Referee didn't feel there was a foul. Coote has stayed down, and now Rovers on the front foot. Not the best of balls though from Jack Byrne.
Yeah, they got away with one ball. They just switched off in their attacking play, and they allowed Gaffney just to come and collect the ball. He said it. And Rovers are away, but it's just the lack of quality then to get them on the counter-attack, and Bowes come around and cover it up.
First real lull we've had in the game in this first half. Forward by Horton. Manus leaves well enough alone, and it's hooked away by Ferrugia. Kirk's throw in. Neat little triangle formed by Bohemians, and it's arrowed inside but straight at Manus.
Grace does well. He just blocks Afolabi to allow Manus to collect them under no pressure then. Really well worked from Bowes again in that left-hand corner. Just small little 1-2s and allows them to get across into the box.
The two Shamrock Rovers really have come into the game in the second period of this first half. The last 4 efforts at goal have come the way of the champions. Byrne, again, head up looking for that straight ball to Gaffney, who holds it up brilliantly and lays it off pretty nicely as well. Watts, and now Burke, and now Ferrugia. Burke again, snapping at his heels is Buckley. Burke keeping hold of it. And he couldn't link up with Kavanagh. Here's Watts. Byrne, cleverly done by him. Ferrugia goes around the outside of Paddy Kirk. Half-hearted appeals for a penalty kick. Referee not interested. Well, that's a foul on Dan Cleary. Keith Buckley, small in stature, but he's got real strength. Another look at this, Graham.
He just drags it, and then he just gets his body across him. He puts his left leg out to block the ball, and Kirk keeps running. Everybody stops afterwards. You've seen them give it. I think he's on his way down before the contact happens.
It will be a Shamrock Rovers free kick. Lifted in by Byrne to that far post, and just through the legs of Gaffney in the end. It never really set up for him.
Again, it's another well-worked set piece as well. Bourne orchestrating it. Another block on the defender, and Gaffney's around the back. It's just a little bit too much pace on the ball. He can't get his left leg to make contact on it.
Trying to hold it up was Dylan Connolly, but he lost it in the end. Watts. Byrne. Really good work from McDade. He's been so busy in this first half. He's on the ball again here, trying to find Afolabi. Afolabi's still battling gamely. He's surrounded over there, and he's won the free kick in a really good position, and he's in a lot of pain as well. Another look as well.
Done brilliantly well. I thought the ball from McDade, he could have just put it in the grass in front of him. He chips it a little bit, but at least Afolabi just fighting and battling amongst himself right in front of the Bowes fans as well that cheered him on. And then you can just see the late tackle there from Watts coming across him, and then another little kick, which is probably the reason he's holding his knee.
And the post striker back on his feet. Good season. The goals aren't flowing as yet. First season in Bohemians really ruined by that quad injury. Here come Bohemians now. Look at you catch Shamrock Rovers a little unawares, and high and wide from Dylan Connolly.
I don't think it was the best of balls in from Coote. Probably the first thing he hasn't done well all evening. It's a little bit short. Afolabi looks a bit tired actually trying to get up the header. The ball just never sits right for Connolly, and he's on his back foot trying to take a swing on it. Goes over the bar. can see Jack Bourne's position just there was shot. You see him drifting in now. He's gone into an outside right position nearly to pick up the ball. Ferrugia then pushes really high right and pins Paddy Kirk back. So it's a lot of work for McDade and McDonald in midfield to get across and cover that area.
Kavanagh wasn't taking any chances, did well. Here's Cleary. Ferrugia with them. Byrne as well. Here is Ferrugia. Towards Byrne. Ferrugia couldn't quite wriggle through. Byrne. Dubious enough throw in, but referee says play away. Grace. Byrne. Able to fizz that one in, easily dealt with by Radkowski.
Problem you have now is Dylan Connolly's nearly playing as a right back with extra cover for Horton, and they can't get their midfield up to get pressure on the ball.
Really good composure from Grace. Kavanagh looking for Graham Burke. And Burke feels he's got the beating of Buckley. He does so. Great ball! Clawed away by Talbot. Out towards Byrne. Another ball in, and that's a brilliant goal! Delivered on a plate by Jack Byrne and turned home by Neil Ferrugia at that front post. And Shamrock Rovers find a breakthrough close to half-time.
We said it, they were just pinning them back in the last 5 minutes. Bourke and Bourne are instrumental in this. Forced Bourke down the left-hand side with the cross in, and then Bourne on the right-hand side. Wonderful ball across the pitch, and Ferrugia ends up in there. It's a great header from him. But you see the work from Bourke here. Goes at Buckley and just fizzes across, similar to the one earlier.
He came out off Talbot. And it was laid off by Ferrugia to Jack Byrne. He just took his time, and he managed to pick the 23-year-old out, who tucks it away for his first goal of the season.
Ferrugia's the one that picks up the seconds and lays it back to him, and then he just carries on his run into the box, and he's on the move as he's heading it. And again, brilliant play from Jack Bourne, fantastic header from Ferrugia.
Well, they are absolutely delighted, the Shamrock Rovers support. It's a real gut punch for Bohemians, so close to the break. They feel they should have been in front, particularly the chances that fell to the likes of Ali Coots and Dylan Connolly.
This left-hand side as well, they started the game like that. They put bodies out here and they pinned Connolly back the last probably 10 minutes, and they can't get any then pressure further up the pitch. Bourne and Bourke are just pulling into these little inside left and inside right channels, and the wing-backs then, and the wingers for Bohemians end up getting pinned back a little bit too far.
And there's a flare on the pitch just after the scoring of that goal, so the referee just wants to press pause on the game until that's dealt with. And we'll have 4 additional minutes at the end of this first half. Bohemians need to find a response. Just one defeat all season. They knew this would be the stiffest test they've faced so far. And the champions, having taken their time to grow into this first half, they've taken control in the last 20 minutes or so, and it's led to the opening goal. In the air by Sean Hoare. Lost by Pooh. Here's Kavanagh. Buckley turned straight into trouble. Burke, instrumental in that opening goal. Such a balanced runner and keeps control of that so well. He's taken a tumble, and it's another free kick.
I think it's Connolly on his way back that just catches him. I don't think Bows are too happy. They don't think it's a free kick. They just think it's a robust challenge. Rovers are appealing for more. But again, he's just enjoying the game now. Burke is getting a lot of touches. Connolly just comes back and catches him at the back of the heel.
He was well within his rights to go for that one. 2 minutes left in this first half. Another chance for Jack Byrne to weave his magic as he did for the opener.
Spin round the back from Cleary.
That's another good ball in. There is an offside flag raised. Found themselves in this position very often this season, Bohemians.
Hoping for the same reaction they had to the UCD game. They were 1-0 down against UCD and they scored 2 goals in the 50s, the 50th and 60th minutes to go and get them the victory. They'd be hoping for the same in the second half.
There goes Gaffney trying to make something of a rather hopeful ball forward. It breaks out towards Dylan Watts. Here's Byrne. No way through. McDonald looking for the run of Afolabi. It was really well watched by Sean Hoare.
He done brilliantly, Hoare. I thought Afolabi had the inside line, was just going to get his hip in and nudge him out. Hoare does really well, just to hook it back to Manus, who then clears it. The ref's done really well in the first half. He's got all the decisions right. Hasn't booked anybody neither. He's let the game flow. There's been some tackles, some penalty shouts, but I think he's dealt with everything really well.
It's a full ball from Novak. Dalton Devine might just need to use the next 15 minutes or so to settle his players again, who after a really good start just lost their way a little. Fifth minute of added time. Gaffney, forward by Kavanagh. He might have to chase down his own ball. All the way back to Novak it goes. Well, there is the half-time whistle. A first half in which Bohemians really started well. They certainly had the better of the opportunities. Coots and Connolly came pretty close to opening the scoring, but Shamrock Rovers did grow into that opening half. They took control. In the end, Jack Byrne was the man who created the opportunity, which was tucked away brilliantly by Neil Ferrugia for his first goal of the season. The champions, having got their season up and running last weekend against Dundalk, well, they've taken the lead here at Dalymount Park as well, and they'll be hoping that they can pick up another 3 points. Half-time at Dalymount Park is Bohemians 0, Shamrock Rovers 1.
It's been a lively first half at Dalymount Park. Plenty of goal-mouth action at both ends. But 2 minutes before the break, Rovers made the all-important breakthrough. Neil Ferrugia with the header. And it is 1-0 to Shamrock Rovers at half-time. Ian, 1-0 Shamrock Rovers. Is that a proper reflection on the opening 45 minutes we've seen at Dalymount Park?
I think on the whole half, Rovers were excellent finishing it. Throughout the middle of the first half, they started to get hold of the game. Both started off really brightly, but I think Rovers were value for going in at 1-0 at the half-time.
Brian, we had to be patient for the goal, but it came just before half-time and a really well-worked goal from a Shamrock Rovers point of view. Yeah,
as Ian said, they started coming into the game. Jack Byrne and Graham Burke got more involved. Jack Byrne had to drop beat to get a great piece of play by Burke, whips across. I thought Gaffney was going to score. Ferrugia as well gets it back to Jack Byrne. Paddy Kick should have blocked them the cross here. Didn't really attempt to get the challenge in. You see here it goes in, just goes across, everyone across the goal. Here Ferrugia gets it back, and there's 2 players facing Jack Byrne. Lovely little feint, goes by the. Now can he do a bit more, Kirk, to stop it? But brilliant piece of work from Ferrugia, because he's the one that sets her up for Jack Byrne. And look at his movement to get spare in at the near post. Gets across Radowski. Lovely little header from the full back. I thought he played very well in the Dundalk last week. Really, really important for Rovers to get that breakthrough, because they were pinned back first 20 minutes. We saw very little of the wing backs. They were like a back 5 rather than a back 3, with the wing backs getting forward because Bows were on top.
If Brian said there, if Rovers finished the half strongly, it has to be said, Ian, that Bohs began the half really well.
Yeah, they started off really brightly. They were on the front foot. You see, with this ball, Dylan Connolly's pace is always going to be a threat getting down the side, especially we're always playing a back three. And the cutback here is different class. Ali Coote will be disappointed with himself with his quality not to put Bohs 1-0 up. You see him again, I think, with Gary O'Neill being out of the squad, he's trying to get in behind the two midfielders and Rovers, and that's a fantastic tackle from Grace to keep the game at 0-0. But Bohs were really positive when they started the game. They got after it, they were in their faces, they won the ball back high up the pitch, and this is a fantastic little through ball by Connolly again, and it's unlucky again not to get a better contact to put Bohs in front, and Rovers really built on that, and they came into the game and they've gone in at 1-0.
It was a really lively first half. Rovers too had their chances as well, Brian.
They had, but it took them a while to really get into it. They won early effort from Graham Burke, where he just drops in the middle of the pitch, picked up here, lovely turn, has a go straight away from well out of range, really, just over the bar, a fair attempt, lovely little bottom. Jack Bourne, he was the one probing all the time, trying to make something happen. But Burke does well, picks her up on the inside, goes wide, whips her across the box, comes off the defender. James Talbot's able to get it, and here's wonderful header from Hoare at the corner kick. But I think the goalkeeper made the save. We were wondering, did the goalkeeper make the save or did they hit the bar? But I felt that the goalkeeper got a strong hand on that and put it away from the goal. So they came into it late on, but it took them a while to get going, to kind of, I suppose, dampen the enthusiasm, early enthusiasm and intensity of Bohemians' play.
We'll give that one to the goalkeeper. We'll say he got a hand to it. I think he deserves that one.
It was a save, Bernard.
It's been all action so far. Let's hope for more of the same in the second half. Second half from Dalymount Park is coming up shortly. Stay with us. Live racing from Musselburgh tomorrow, featuring the Queen's Cup. Coverage starts at 1:30 on Virgin Media 1. All 3 days of the Aintree Grand National Festival starting next Thursday, and of course the Grand National itself on Saturday. The European club competitions are back next week. On Wednesday, Chelsea take on the reigning champions Real Madrid in the first leg quarter-final. We're live from 7 for that one. In the quarterfinals of the Europa Conference League and League also on Thursday, we've got 4 matches to show you. West Ham are away to Ghent in their early kickoff in the conference. It's a repeat of last year's Conference League final in the Europa League. At the same time, Feyenoord taking on Roma there. Manchester United are up against the Europa League specialists Sevilla, and Juventus face Sporting Lisbon in the 2 8 o'clock matches in the Europa League. So plenty to keep you entertained next week. OK, there's been goals in 2 of the other 4 games on tonight. The first goal of the night came in the St Pat's Cork City game. Jake Mulroney was the man to step up for Pats as he gave his side the lead with this well-taken finish that leaves the score 1-0 at half-time there. So far, so good for Pats. Brian Kerr will be happy. Next up, we're off to Oriel Park. It's currently level in this one. This is Dundalk and Sligo. New Zealander Max Mata eventually here getting on the end of this well-worked move to put Sligo in front. Another good finish there. But Rayhan Tulloch equalised just before half-time with this effort after his initial penalty was saved. So all to play for in the second half in that one. Now on to the other scores of the other games. Derry City currently are scoreless at half-time against Drogheda as they look to go top tonight. And it's also goalless in the other Dublin derby, UCD 0, Shelbourne 0. Now the gents are here. How do you see this second half going, Brian?
Well, I think obviously Rovers in a nice position, having got that goal and improving as the half went on. But Bohemians will be determined to get back into the match. I think Ali Coote faded from the game after initially being very good early on. They stopped finding him with passes. Dylan Connolly also, Shamrock Rovers got to grip with his threat down the right-hand side. But look, there's plenty of time. I don't think there'll be any panic by Bohemians. I think they'll be trying to get at Rovers again, probably try and press Rovers a bit higher up the pitch and stop Jack Bourne getting on the ball. I think their own midfield need to get on the ball a a bit more. McDonald and Keith Buckley need to get on the ball or pass it a bit more and try and get the centre forward into the game as well, and the other front players. But lots of time left in the game. You just need to be careful not to lose the second goal, because if Rovers get 2-0 up, they'll win the match.
Bo's still not out on the pitch. What do you reckon, Ian, is the message from Declan Devine in that dressing room?
Declan spoke midweek about his team finding different ways to win games, and they're going to have to do that tonight. I think they've got really good options to come off the bench. Keith Buckley coming back off an injury. You'd like to think James McManus will be a change there, and they've got
Flores is a good option.
Who scored goals, set piece threat. I think they're big changes to come from Bows to try and influence this game.
We said these two matches and two next matches up for Bows are huge for the club. Brian, how big of a 45 minutes ahead for Bows here at Dalymount Park?
Well, it's very important. Look, even if they get done, they've still got, you know, a lot of points on the board. It would just, if they got beaten tonight, it's just 2 defeats out of 8 games. I mean, that's a very good start to the season. Having won all the other matches, 18 points. So, you know, but look, it's too early to be talking of the result of this game. They'd have known coming into this match in Derry that they were the best opposition they would be playing this season, Shamrock Rovers and Derry away. So they'll be up for it in the second half tonight. Ian said they've got good options to make changes.
Good stuff. The second half of Bows versus Rovers about to get going. Remember, we'll show you all the goals from the other games before the night is out. Stay with us for that. Now let's get back to Dalymount Park. Here's Dave and Graham again.
Yes, thank you, Bernard. So second half about to get underway under the lights here at Dalymount Park. Shamrock Rovers, that one goal to the good, Graham, and the first half was a tale of two halves, because Bow started so well, couldn't make their pressure and their dominance count, and once Rovers took control, they really moved away into the game.
Yeah, and a game of two players as well, really, wasn't it? Coop for the fourth, the opening 25 minutes of it, and then Jack Bourne for the other 20, where he just comes into the game and he's influential, and it's him that puts in the assist for the goal.
Bohemians, I know there are goals in this team. They've performed so well in front of goal throughout the opening 7 games of this season. Here is Byrne to the goal scorer Farrugia, who was just barged off, and that did look a foul. Stephen Bradley certainly felt so. Here's Grace away from Afalabi, and Cleary with an awkward one for Manus to deal with, and he keeps his composure.
It was a sloppy start from Bows. They were just swinging at things, but they had good pressure on there, but Manus deals with it really well.
Cleary. Farrugia. And easily cuts inside Declan McDade, and Byrne was caught late. That's a free kick in a promising position for Shamrock Rovers. And that's a yellow card shown to Keith Buckley.
It's the 4th yellow card of the evening. You see, he just popped it inside the Bourne, and Bourne just gets his toe to it to play around the corner. He knows the challenge is coming. You can see Farrugia just tries to bounce it off and play a little one too. You see Buckley gets there as quick as he could, but it's not quick enough, and it's a yellow card.
36th time he's faced Shamrock Rovers in his career tonight. He's now faced them more than he has any other club. Back in the side tonight after missing the last 2 games with a calf injury. Well, it is prime Graham Burke territory. Whether or not it's just a little too far out for James Talbot and the Bohemians goal, we'll know what Burke is capable of.
He's giving him a lot on that side as well, isn't he, from where we're looking at it, Dave?
Well, it will be the left foot of Burke. It's a rather anticlimactic end to that. Not much nuance to that, just tried to hit it as hard as he could.
That about sums it up, all right.
12 goals he scored last season. It was the 2nd best scoring season he's had in his career, Graham Burke.
Considering he was injured for a lot of it as well, it's an unbelievable goal return for him. And this season he started the same. He's been in and out. He still manages to pop up with vital goals. 3 goals so far this season.
Cleary towards Gaffney, and this will break out to Ferrugia.
Done brilliantly well, Gaffney. I think it's just the clearance down the middle of the pitch, but he manages just to get himself in between the two centre backs.
Sean Hoare. Cleary, that's a heavy touch, and failing to make him pay was McDade. Jack Byrne looking for Gaffney over the top. Breaks out to Dylan Watts. Byrne was in the overlap of Ferrugia if he wants him. Watts, early ball to Gaffney, and the flag is up. I think Gaffney knew he was offside long before the ball arrived.
Yeah, Watts has been really good for Rovers. He's given them a platform for the likes of Bourne and Burke to just go and drift into wide areas, and they know that he's the pivot that he can come and play through. But he also protecting the back line from them balls into Afolabi too. Considering they missed Gary O'Neill tonight, who's out through illness.
You know, Richie Towell in the matchday squad either today. Coote, his first touch in the second half, was just bumped off it. The referee happy enough with that challenge from Sean Hoare. Pooh. Burke has Kavanagh with him. Not a great ball. It went a long way though. Right through the legs, I think, of Novak. Jack Byrne. Dylan Watts for Byrne. Just starting to pick up those little pockets of space between the lines, Jack Byrne. It's causing Bohemians real problems. Sean Hoare spotting the run of Burke. It's a really good ball. And Burke onto his left foot. Might try one from here, he does, and just pulled across it. But again, their ability to fashion that space has Bohemians pretty concerned.
Yeah, they're just manipulating it all the time. At this stage, it's Dylan Watt. Here's the free kick they're talking about. To be honest, there probably is a foul that he just runs across him. He's not trying to play the ball, Hoare. Probably should. The referee makes a poor decision there because balls are on the counter-attack.
Away by Grace. Here's Buckley. Just calms things down in the middle. Rakowski. And off goes Paddy Kirk. Back at Dalymount Park this season after a spell at Sligo Rovers. Buckley. And that's given away cheaply by Rakowski. It's a foul in Ferrugia.
It's actually a really good foul from Kirk because again Rovers are away. It's a short ball. Kirk's out of the game. He's come in through the back of him. In fairness, he's done well just to slow it down.
And we're taken with Cleary towards Gaffney. He does win it. Be a goal kick in the end. Those are struggling to put their stamp on proceedings in this second half. And the minutes are ticking by and Rovers just look entirely comfortable. Set held by Novak. And won by Buckley. And this time Bohemians do get the call from the referee.
Grace is just too eager. He comes over the back of Connolly.
Well, that happened right in front of those Bohemians fans in that far corner, and there's the yellow card. Lee Grace has probably got away with one or two tonight, but not that one.
Yeah, it's just a quick ball down the line from Buckley, and Connolly has the run on him. Grace fully committed to it, but it's a yellow card all day. See here, he just makes eye contact with Buckley. The ball's played in front of him, and it's a straight foot race then. But it is, yeah, it's a yellow card.
In a really promising position now for Bohemians. So the skipper's in the book. It'll be Adam MacDonald to whip this one in left-footed. Look to put some real pressure on Manus here. And here it comes, and it's well watched by Alan Manus. Nobody really attacking it.
Oh, nobody even pinning Manus to stop him coming out and collecting it or standing in front of him. Oh, it's hard because you don't want to be offside from the free kick, but it still needs to stop him coming and collecting so easy.
And the first touch of Sean Hoare needed to be spot on there. He was under a lot of pressure from McDade. Rovers getting on with things here. Ferrugia. He's done well to force the corner kick there.
Yeah, he knows he's not going on to his favourite foot there, so he just drags it down the side and hoping to get a swing on it. Kirk does well to get his body down the line of the ball, but I think Ferrugia would have taken the corner from that point. They've been dangerous from set pieces, Rovers. Worked it really well, but that gap, that front area in front of Bork is a worry for me for Bowles on an outswinger. You can see Ali Coote stepped out to fill it now.
Lifted in by Byrne. Plenty of depth on it. And it's headed back towards goal, and it's an easy save in the end from Talbot. But again, Shamrock Rovers causing all sorts of trouble for Bohemians from those set pieces. Sean Hoare in particular.
Haven't dealt with them well at all here. And Talbot's trying to play quick, but he stopped. To be honest, I'm not sure what the rules are on this, but they used to be automatic yellow cards if it stops the keeper kicking it out. And it is. He's gone to Cleary to book him here. Dave.
And he's had to come a long way to find Dan Cleary. So he joins Lee Grace in the book. Keith Buckley, the only Bows player who's been shown a yellow card so far. Cleary, or by Kavanagh. He gets it back. Looking to squeeze one through to Byrne. Dealt with by Rakowski. Now maybe potential for Bohemians here. Coote's ball forward to Afalobi. Breaks back out to the Scot. Quickly onto it. Buckley demanding it outside him. Has it now. Just runs down a bit of a blind alley, and I think a little fortunate the Bows captain to win the free kick there.
Yeah, you can see he's trying to line up a shot for himself, but the ball gets stuck under his feet a little bit. He then tries to drag it back, and it's Poom that ends up sort of half clipping his heel. But yeah, I think all his experience buys him that one.
And immediately Adam MacDonald came across, picked the ball up himself.
This is where I think they missed Jordan Flores, who's been fantastic. He scored 2 free kicks direct so far this season.
And Jordan Flores starting on the bench tonight. And it's Sean Kavanagh who's acting as the draft stopper. Here it comes from MacDonald. Lovely hit, but good handling again from Alan Manus. It needed to be so.
Yeah, and he just makes sure all his experience, he gets his body behind it, he takes a little touch, he doesn't catch it first time, but he just cushions it in. You can see here, he reads him really well.
So a good save from the Rovers goalkeeper, keeps things as they are. Christian Novak. Horton. Well, he just hesitated in possession. Horton needs to get back now. Here's Burke. Feeds Kavanagh. Only Gaffney in the penalty area. Byrne. wanted to keep it low, not go the aerial route this time, which he does, and that was never on. I think that's Kacper Rakowski that's gone down. Bohemians about to make the first change of the night, and it will be the teenage sensation James McManus, who's had a really good start to the season. He'll be in shortly. He's coming in for Keith Buckley, who understandably doesn't have the full 90 in the legs. He's missed a lot of football over the last 3 weeks. So the captain hands the armband over to his midfield partner Adam McDonald, and in comes James McManus, who's played every minute of the 4 games prior to tonight, and you've been hugely impressed with what you've seen of him, Greg.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. He brings a control and influence, and I think just before he was coming on, they needed to play through midfield a little bit more. They're getting out to the centre backs, they're just going direct into Afolabi, and it's not really working for them. The midfield need to get on the ball, and with Buckley being on a yellow card, I think it's a clever substitution from Decky Devine.
He turned 18 last month, and 4 starts in the Premier Division last season. He's already made as many as that in this campaign, so he slots into the midfield with McDonald. So something for Stephen Bradley to consider as he assesses his own alternatives.
Just needs to go and get on the ball and get Bohemians playing. They're going very back to front and hoping to play off seconds, but he needs to get on the ball and try and punch balls through to his strikers and allow Ali Coote to then link up with Afolabi.
There's Kirk. Again, Cameron's personified Sean Hoare. He picks it a lovely ball inside to Graham Burke. He just seems to glide over this Dalymount Park turf. Fights for Rouge. Gaffney to Burke. This is lovely build-up play from Shamrock Rovers. Burke is crowded out of it in the end, but illegally so, with a free kick right in the edge of the area.
It's brilliant play from Rovers. Originally Gaffney as well, and then it links into Burke, who originally started in receiving the ball off Hoare, and then he's just driving at them, and there's legs hanging out, but the ref brings it back for a free kick from that one, I think, from McManus. But Burke is obviously wanting the advantage to take the penalty then.
Well, Burke still remonstrating with the referee, insisting that foul took place just inside the penalty area. Has shown a yellow card to James McManus. His first real contribution since coming in was to bring down Burke, and he's now on the book.
Go for power here, or will he try and just be a bit more delicate? Again, Talbot's giving him a lot on one side of the goal here.
It wasn't a million miles away, but never likely to cause James Talbot too many problems.
It's hard to get that type of power on it that close to the goal, up and down. Sometimes it has to be maybe a little bit more delicate.
He's sent off in the 1-0 defeat here in September, Dylan Watts. Here's McDade. Loses out to Ferrugia. Now Burke. Cleverly done into Jack Byrne. Byrne for Kavanagh. Kavanagh again capable of producing so much better than that from that wide area.
You see just Bourne and Burke just come alive in around the box, and it's a lovely ball down the side from Kavanagh, and you expect better quality with his left foot. It just gets too much on it. You can see him shaking his head. He's disappointed with it. But they're just getting stuck on this side of the pitch, both. They're trying to play out. It goes into McDade, and there's no real support around him. It's Ferrugia again that nicks it, and it just sets Rovers on the counter-attack again.
Ferrugia.
Just pinned them in the last 10 minutes, haven't he, Dave?
Yeah, we said it earlier. Shamrock Rovers look very comfortable at the moment, but it's just that one goal. Right now, the problem for Bohemians is they don't look like they're coming close to creating anything.
just not having any sustained pressure in the game. It's all off maybe a clip up that Falabi and a breaking ball and they get it, but there's no sustained pressure. There's no patterns of play that is leading them to maybe pin Rovers in.
Burke, lovely skill, trying to get around Paddy Kirk. He's really to the fore in this second half in particular. Burke picks out a really good ball to Poon! Well, that took a nick on the way through.
Again, it's all Bork. He's really enjoying the game. He's taking extra touches in this inside right channel. And Farouj is always the willing runner on the outside, and that just opens up the inside of the pitch. This time it's Poon that steps on, and he's got a wonderful left foot as well. It just drags it a little bit with the height of the deflection, I think.
And a man on loan for the season from Florida Talent, not too far away from getting his first goal for his new club. Stephen Bradley knows how close that was. Lifted in by Byrne. It's bouncing around that 6-yard box. Bohemians really struggling to clear their lines here. Back in by Byrne again. Breaks out though to Connolly. Bohemians have to get something going here. Connolly again, he's got McDade to his left, and that's a hefty challenge coming in from Sean Hoare. And in fairness to Connolly, just got straight back to his feet.
It's a fantastic challenge considering he's run all the way back from the corner as well and tracked them. He's lined them up and just hit them. Wonderful tackle from Hoare.
Christian Novak. Now Paddy Kirk. Long ball targeting Connolly. Kavanagh. 10-point ball forward to find Gaffney, who trapped it beautifully. Burke calling for it in the area. Here comes Burke. It's just beyond him. It was an excellent delivery from the Shamrock Rovers striker.
It was his first touch, Dave. It's unbelievable. Outside the right boot around the corner for himself, and then he's away. And he's brilliant in the open grass, Gaffney. Bork is the one trying to make it up. The ball is fantastic as well, but Bork just doesn't have the legs to get there in the end.
Plume for Byrne. Clever ball towards Burke, who just trapped the defender Farouj and buying it. Hook, line and sinker was Kacper Rakowski, and he goes into the referee's notebook. Really good skill from the goal scorer.
Yeah, it's a great ball around the corner as well, and he just backs his body in. You can see it coming. But this first touch from Gaffney, it's a wonderful ball from Kavanagh, but that's first touch on the half volley just around the corner, and he's away. You can see his head comes up now, and then he elects to just wrap his left foot around it from Bork, but he just can't get there. Great play from Gaffney.
And considering that sort of a deft touch is one thing, executing it is very much another. Confirmation of that booking for Rakowski. And he's played every minute of Bohemian season so far. Perhaps some more defending to do here. They're bunched at that back post, and it comes from Byrne. And it breaks to Gaffney! And Gaffney takes it away! Shamrock Rovers double their lead!
And it's been coming from set pieces all night. The delivery from Jack Bourne is on the button. I don't understand why the Bows centre-back decides to flick it on and not just head it away. And that leads to Gaffney just to sneak in at the back post. Left-footed shot goes through a lot of bodies and it just trickles into the bottom corner. But it's everything Rovers deserve. They come out in the second half and they've been dominant, and all the chances have been coming from them.
Rory Gaffney, his 5th goal against Bohemians and his 3rd of the season, was never dealt with properly, and when it arrived with very little angle to work with, Gaffney kept his cool and tucked it into the bottom corner.
Again, Nowak looks like he's trying to flick it on, Dave. I think he actually should just come through and head it back where he came from. Just stand up and head it. You can see Bourne's reaction and what it means to him. He comes over and celebrates right in front of the Rovers fans.
Well, Bohemians are going to bring Drew Baker, or Chris Swardick rather, and John O'Sullivan in. So there's Swardick making his way in, the former Canadian international. So it's his 4th appearance of the season, and Bows are in a real hole here. Just over 20 minutes remaining. It's Dylan Connolly and Declan McDade, the two have come off.
McDade and Connolly just couldn't get into the game in the second half. Connolly's obviously coming back from a 3-game suspension, probably sending off against Shells, and he just looks like he's lacking match sharpness.
Here's McManus, and then Alan Manus calls, and he's looking to release Gaffney here. It's a cracking ball from the Rovers goalkeeper. And Rakowski on a yellow card daren't make the tackle. The Rovers know they can just hit Bowes on the break now as Bowes become increasingly desperate. Here's Cleary. Good skill from the centre half. He's brought down by Coote.
That's where Coote just can't get into the game anymore. He's shown flashes of it the first 20 minutes. He was the best player on the pitch, but he just haven't been able to get him on the ball as much in the second half at all.
So it'll be Byrne once again. Shamrock Rovers have looked so threatening throughout this game from these sorts of situations.
Got a free header from every set piece bar one so far in the game.
Another good delivery, and there it is again, causing all sorts of trouble. Foul by Sean Hoare though on Adam MacDonald, and Bow survived this time.
There was Nowak again, that was under pressure. You can see he just drops early. I think he gets the free kick this time. He was probably looking for it on the Gaffney goal as well.
Helmet goes long. Fordick. Done for Watson. He's given her. Feel rather Watts gave it away. Free kick Bowes. Is there a way back into this game for Bohemians? Fordick. Across half blocked. Almost fell for Afalobi, and away goes Gaffney again. Jack Byrne knowing exactly where his front man would be, and it's suddenly 2-on-2 here. Graham Burke back to Gaffney. Gaffney looking to finish it. Oh, he's gone with the deft chip instead of putting his boot behind it. But again, Shamrock Rovers feel they've got Bohemians on the rack here.
Yeah, it's a wonderful ball from Bourne. He just hooks around the corner. Like you said, Thwartick's on a booking, so he can't be overly aggressive with Gaffney. Gaffney gets his body in brilliantly and plays a 1-2 with Burke. I, like you, thought he was just going to swing on this as soon as it's set for him. I thought he's just going to bang his right foot through that, but he's just gone for a dink. But from where it looks like it's gone miles over.
They very much play the game in their own terms now, Shamrock Rovers, although in fairness to them, they've been doing that since about 20 minutes into the first half.
And your players like Bourne and Burke who really enjoy being on the ball, and Bowes are desperate to get it back, so they're more likely to jump in, and they're just willing to roll and play little 1-2s. I'd say they're a nightmare to play against when they're ahead in the game.
Good ball by Rakowski. Down goes Ali Coote. Free kick Bowes.
To be honest, that looks a sore one actually. I think Ferrugia might get away with this one, but it looks a sore one for Coote.
Shamrock Rovers preparing to bring Darren Nugent in. Coote is still down. Absolutely no sign of anybody coming in to help him out a bit. Nothing over. He goes down to the edge of the area. Dylan Watts with the foul. So a promising situation for Bohemians with this game isn't to get away from them. Need to find a breakthrough pretty quickly.
With 18 minutes left on the clock, they need to score soon.
The Rovers management team in deep conversation, trying to figure a way to see this one through. So standing over it is Ali Coote. He's the favourite to take this. He's got John O'Sullivan for company. It will be O'Sullivan. And blocked out for the corner.
Yeah, Dylan Watts does really well to get out to it and gets a block on it. Looks like it's travelling from O'Sullivan. But Watts does brilliantly well.
McDonald to whip this one in, an outswinger away from Alan Manos's goal. And it was met, but only tamely enough by Grant Horton.
It's just a little bit too far out for him to get any real purchase on in trouble Manus, and Manus does well just to smother it and kill the game for Rovers.
And Ali Coote is in real bother here. He's gone down for a second time. That might be the end of his night.
I think it's just a dead leg from the knee from Farrugia earlier. You can see it just hasn't gone away. It has to come off by the looks of it.
So another Bohemians change about to be made. It'll be Dean Williams coming in. And they brought in from Drogheda United in January. And of course, he spent time at the youth setup at Shamrock Rovers.
Scoring against Bows as well when he was at Drogheda, so they'll be hoping that he can go and score against Rovers tonight coming on. But they've missed Akintunde as well, who brings a lot of power and pace to them, to their play, and with Coote going off, they're missing maybe the main goal threat.
So a man who played 30 times for the Hoops, looking to add to the goal he got against Shamrock Rovers in that FAI Cup tie last season. Gave the final throw of the dice from Declan Devine. Towards Gaffney. There's Kirk. Straight to Byrne. Never a good idea. Byrne's brought down by Adam MacDonald.
Talking about McDonald's coming having to come out and throw a leg in because he's desperate just to get the ball back to try and get Bowes into the game. But Byrne's clever, he just puts his right foot across it, knowing that the tackle is coming, and gets a free kick. You see it here, he just protects the ball with his right foot at the last minute.
Byrne is fine and ready to take this free kick. And again, Rovers winning the header. That's a fabulous save from James Talbot. Flung his body to his left. And whatever life remains in this game for Bows, they can thank their goalkeeper for it.
Yeah, he's giving them a little half a chance here, but it's a fantastic header from Grace. You see, he's up early. They haven't defended them well all evening, Bows. They've looked really sort of tepid from set pieces, and there's another chance that they've given up from him. But it's a fantastic save from Talbot with his outstretched left hand.
So more defending to do for Bows here. The outswinger from Byrne. And that will be a little light relief for them. Looks like it went out and came back in, yeah. And that's taken a bit too quickly for the referee's liking. Pretty pleased by what they've seen, having made the trip across town. Can Bows find a breakthrough here? Apolobi really has had very little change out of that Shamrock Rovers back three. he's played a low furrow for much of the game. He's done his best.
Feeding off scraps, really. I think he's trying to play up there with Williams and drop into the hole a little bit and be the runner from deep, and that time he could have had a run at him, but he elects to shoot. I don't think the angle was ever on for him to get a shot away from there.
That's a rather aimless ball from Horton. On the sideline you can see him there, Declan Devine, he's hoping for more from his team. Just looked like a side who've run out of ideas a little.
Like you said, they've lacked any sort of pressure in the second half that comes from a good play, and then every time they're getting sprung on counter-attacks from Rovers.
And before Gaffney meant that ball, it's another exquisite first touch from the Rovers centre forward.
He's been excellent in the second half. He's really given them such an outlet, and he's caused havoc to Novak and Bukowski, who probably haven't come up against anyone like him so far this season. He's been excellent. His link-up play, he'll probably obviously be disappointed with the finish with the chip. Bows have been excellent so far this season, and they started the game unbelievably well. They'd be disappointed they probably don't go ahead with the chances that Coote has, but after that then Rovers just come into the game.
Burke, one of the standout performers for Rovers tonight. He's done well again there. Rory Gaffney's done. I think he signalled to the bench he needs to be taken off. Here's Kirk. Again, Gaffney signalling that he could stay on for the moment, but he was vociferously giving that sign to the bench that his race was run a moment ago.
I think his calf just cramped up on him, and he went to make a run over the top, and you can see him just hobbling back into position in the centre circle here. But again, it's another poor diagonal ball from Bohemians, and it's just going to nothing.
The Rovers have Darren Nugent ready to go, as he has been for the last 7 or 8 minutes. I think it might be Johnny Kenny as well that's getting ready to come in. They started that win over Dundalk, which was their long-awaited first win of the new season, and it does look like they're about to get their second. Yeah, it will be Johnny Kenny coming in. And Stephen Kenny and President of Ireland Michael D. Higgins treated to a pretty good Dublin derby tonight. They're in the midst of the Bohemians fans in the Jody stand. So Bradley with some second words for Johnny Kenny. He's done really well this season. Having turned 19, he's made his day with the Republic of Ireland number 21s already. And the man from Sligo comes in for his 7th appearance of the season. He's already got a couple of goals, and an ovation from the away support for Graham Burke, who's displayed his full array of skills at times tonight.
Yeah, he's been excellent. You see even in the last one where he's coming back to the edge of his box and he's so controlled in the ball, and he just flicks one out to Kavanagh. He's been excellent and been so vital for Rovers, especially their dominance in the second half.
So Gaffney having got his goal, and really linked the play up excellently for most of the evening. He's come off, and in goes Johnny Kenny. Dalymount Park is as quiet now as it's been at any stage this evening. Watts was late, and Afalovi there. Here's Horton. Pressure that time was Christian Novak.
Just nowhere for him to go, no link in midfield for him to play through. You can see they've been affected by the players they're missing and the injuries they've got as well, Bowes. But they do lack probably a way of playing at times when the pressure comes onto them. And they need the likes of McDonald and McManus to come and link the play off their midfield from the back line into their strikers.
Toddy Kirk. Well, he's lost it in a dangerous position there. Rovers can't capitalise. Away by Horn. Afalabi's managed to stay outside. Grace couldn't clear it. A chance maybe for Twardek. Needs the support runners, the little back heel. Horton. Twardek again. Was looking to set up a grandstand finish, flicked away by Perugia for a Bohemians corner.
Just wouldn't sit for them right. The sets weren't right for them to maybe get a shot away first time. Rovers get bodies back and just stop them turning or swivelling and get a shot. Perugia does well to head it out the back post in the end. It's a corner from Bowes.
Back in again. Trying to swivel on it was Rakowski. Jack Byrne, cool under pressure, and more disappointing for Bohemians.
Just takes the sting out of him again. He just collects the ball on the edge of the box, pops it over the Bowes player's head, and then just takes the sting out of Bowes. And you can see Rovers just slowing the game down now with 6 minutes, 7 minutes to go.
What's in defending to do now? He's done pretty well, just forcing John O'Sullivan inside, and it was well read by Cleary. Not a great ball from him. Horton. Ran himself into a bit of a corner there, Horton. He's done well to just at least leave it a throw in. Here's Twardek. And into the final 5 minutes, it's time for you to start considering who the standout performance have been for you, Graham. We'll get to you on that in a moment. Who's caught your eye?
To be honest, there's a few that caught my eye. I thought, like you said, the first 25 minutes it was Ali Coote. He'd be disappointed he hasn't scored, and then Bourne comes into the game. But for me, Graham Burke is outstanding. He's been everything that Rovers wanted in the game. His deliveries have been fantastic. Him and Jack Burns, whenever they've been relied upon, but he's just brought Rovers up the pitch and carried the team in terms of with the ball, some of the intricate passing and stuff, and he's just been calmness, like we said, in a game that is generally hectic. Burke has brought the calmness to it and the quality.
He really has done had an excellent evening, Graham Burke. No longer on the field, but he was central to an awful lot of what Shamrock Rovers did well in this second half in particular.
They haven't got James Manus on the ball since he's come on. They haven't really tried to play through him, and that's what Bowes need to do if they're going to try and challenge it at a league title. They need to play through their better players and get them on the ball. A lot of it is going into Afalabi and trying to feed off scraps, and it can work every now and then, but it's more to chance than it is in good play.
There. He's picked up a knock. And another delay in a game, or it's becoming an increasingly frustrating evening for Bohemians. They came into the game with so much energy and so much confidence behind them. Stand. Bohemians will remain top of the table. As Derry City are struggling against Drogheda United tonight. Of course, Bowes go to Derry on Monday evening. These sides will meet across town in Tala in exactly 4 weeks' time. Here's Watts. Perugia. Johnny Kenny inside, waiting for this ball to arrive. Perugia never got the opportunity to put it across. Adam MacDonald still doing the best he can for his team.
It's done unbelievably well. MacDonald, Kerr gives away in the left back area, but MacDonald is the one that's tracing back, and he shows great energy in the 87th minute to stay with Perugia, and it's a really good tackle with his right foot to put it out for a corner kick.
Shamrock Rovers are going to make another few changes, including the introduction of Roberto Lopez. So Byrne again with this delivery. Again, Bohemians struggle to deal with it. It's an aspect of their play that needs a lot of work. Byrne again. And he's forced another corner kick.
It's another free header from Grace in the box. They're just getting to every one of the set pieces first. Those are the big side. The two centre-backs, Norik and Radowski, are big lads. They just need to be more aggressive to get to the ball.
Final 90 seconds or so. Byrne again. Bohemians deal with that one a little more confidently. Down towards Afolabi, but again, there's nowhere for him to go. They haven't really supported him well enough. But they will feel, and no doubt Declan Devine will talk about the couple of really good opportunities they had in the first half, particularly the one for Dylan Connolly when he just pulled it inches wide of the post. How different a game it could have been if that had gone in.
Like you said, they just weren't clinical enough in the opposition box, and they weren't clinical enough in their own box in terms of defending the set pieces. That's been the story of it at times.
Well, a triple change been made by Stephen Bradley. In the foreground there is Roberto Lopez. We'll see Justin Ferzai as well, who made such an impact last season, particularly in Rovers' European run. Hasn't had as many opportunities so far this season, but a lot of football to be played. And we're also going to see Trevor Clark coming in.
In fairness, we were touching on the set pieces and how Bows have struggled, but a lot of that down is the delivery from Bourne. They've been fantastic and really well worked. And he's been excellent this evening. Him and Bork and Coote were the standouts in the game.
And Sean Kavanagh being replaced by Roberto Lopez. He's been on international duty over the last couple of weeks with the Cape Verde Islands, who have been in African Cup of Nations qualification games. And Dylan Watts, the last man to be withdrawn. In comes Trevor Clark. Didn't feature at all against Dundalk, in for 5 additional minutes at the end of the 90 here. Here's Kirk. No out ball for Bohemians at all. Afolabi just drifting towards his own midfield. It straight to Farrugia, who opened the scoring. And this is a defeat that will hurt the Bohemians and their fans. It's such a hotly anticipated derby game. And it's Rovers that have kept their heads and sent the first real signal out this season that they're on their way back to the sort of form that has seen them win 3 league titles in a row.
They've just shown all their experience as well, and in fairness to Bowles, like you said, they've started the season unbelievably well. 6 wins out of 7 is fantastic from them. They've just gone full time in training in the mornings. You can see the difference that's making to the team, but they're still in the building phase of the team, and they've a bit to go. You know, and sometimes coming into these games and all the expectation is probably on them this evening. It's a different animal to when they're underdogs. But again, Rovers have come and just put on a professional performance, and their quality has come through at times as well.
There's Horton out to Twarwick. He's to front space with the cross. There's none to be had. An effort from Kirk, and never really looked set as the ball arrived with his left foot.
It's a shot in frustration as well, and desperation at times too. He just swings and slices at it and just flies over the bar. It's actually a really good position to take a half volley on.
He did get his first goal for the club against UCD last month. That's the only one he's had in 54 games for Bohs before tonight.
It's a really good goal. He put in on his right foot and just bent it into the far side. He just slashes at that one.
Dalymount Park in the hundreds now, the Bohemian supporters. You can't take away from the start they've had to this season. But we did say at the top of the show that these next 4 days could be telling in terms of what their capacity is to be a sustained influence on the title race this season. They'll have been beaten tonight. They go to Derry City on Monday evening. The feeling is, despite their start, Stephen Bradley and his men will be around when it comes to the business end of the season later in the year.
Considering Drogheda have just beaten Derry as well, that makes for an even bigger game on Monday night for both sides, coming off the back of defeats.
To the final minute. Those look a beaten team here. Really good feet from Toom, who's quietly gone about his business in that Rovers midfield. Outshot in many ways by the likes of Dylan Watson, Jack Byrne, and a little further forward Graham Burke, but he's had a very good game, the Estonian.
Exactly, he's just kept it neat and tidy in there. He's given them a little pivot to play through at times as well, and he's protected the back line, and like you said, it allowed Bourne and Burke the freedom to go and run the game. But you don't do that without that platform that the likes of Pilm and Watts gave them.
Cleary. Held up well by Johnny Kenny, and he's fed Ferrugia. To a 6th additional minute. Full-time whistle. A huge victory in the derby for Shamrock Rovers, who, having waited so long for their opening win of the season, make it back-to-back victories. And they are very much back. For Bohemians, their extraordinary start to the season has just hit a little bit of a stumbling block. Just their second defeat of the new campaign. Rory Gaffney, who performed brilliantly all evening with the second goal that really put it beyond the reach of Bohemians, after Neil Ferrugia had got the opening goal with that wonderful header off that delivery from Jack Byrne. They will go home very happy, as will Stephen Bradley and his players. Bohemians just need to settle things down again and get that turnaround done very quickly before they head north to Derry City on Monday evening. A really good game at Dalymount Park, but it is the reigning league champions who've taken the 3 points. Full time here, it's Bohemians 0, Shamrock Rovers 2. We'll have analysis and reaction next.
Could this be the match that kickstarts Shamrock Rovers' season? A goal from Neil Ferrugia just before half-time, followed by this effort from Rory Gaffney, gave Rovers a valuable 3 points in the Dublin derby. A convincing victory for the champions, thanks in no small part to Graham Burke, and he's standing by with Anne-Marie Keegan.
Graham, congratulations. You are tonight's man of the match. Here to present you with your award is Ruth Rappel of SSE Electricity.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Well done, Graham. That was a big win for everybody at Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, it's a big win. You know, we obviously know how big of a game this is, so to come here and put on that performance tonight, you know, was brilliant, because we knew we had the back last week's win up, you know, at the start that we're after having this season. So yeah, we've really got up and running the past 2 games. So we're delighted now. Yeah.
Was there a desire to prove a point tonight, coming to Dalymount Park with Bohs top of the league?
Yeah, obviously, you know, anytime you come here, it's obviously going to be a big game, but it adds that little bit more motivation because the top of the league, you know, so we wanted to come here and make a statement. Obviously, we're champions, so, you know, we want to come up here and put on a big performance, and I thought we'd done that.
And for yourself, after missing the last couple of games, to walk out of here with the Player of the Match award, that must be really pleasing for you.
Yeah, obviously I'm delighted, you know, these obviously big nights, you want to do well in them, so yeah, obviously this tonight tops her off, so yeah, delighted.
Well done tonight.
Cheers, thank you.
Nice one.
So we know the result in Dalymount Park tonight. Let's see how things went in the other games tonight. We're going to start at Richmond Park. St. Pat's were looking to kick on from their 3-0 win over UCD last time out. They hosted a Cork City side at Richmond Park, and it was Tim Clancy's side who took the lead. Summer signing Jack Mulroney putting away Owen Doyle's cross after 15 minutes. Just after the hour mark, though, Pats grabbed their second. Jason McClellan's strike, taking a deflection and giving James Corcoran no chance. Long-range effort there. Jamie Lennon added a third soon after from Mulroney's cross, and has somehow found the back of the net here. Mark Doyle added a fourth in injury time. Pats grabbed a big win at Richmond Park, so 4-0 the final score in that one. Now Dundalk, they were beaten 4-0 by Shamrock Rovers last week. Tonight they faced Sligo Rovers at Oriel Park, and it was the visitors who took the lead. New Zealander Max Mata getting on the end of this well-worked move to put his side in front. Nice goal there, but just before half-time, Rayan Tullux equalised with this effort after his initial penalty was saved. But it was John Russell's side that took all 3 points. Super substitute Stefan Radoslavovic stealing the show with this winner, making the long journey home all the sweeter. So 2-1 is how it finished there. A big result here because second place Derry were the only unbeaten side left in the league as they took on Drogheda. Both sides reduced to 10 men, but it was Drogheda that took a surprise lead late on. Alechi Oi giving them the lead. The final score at the Branduel was 1-0 to Drogheda as Derry slip up. No goals between UCD and Shells tonight, so a quick run through all the results tonight. As you can see there, that big slip up by Derry, and wins for Sligo and St. Pat's, and that goalless draw between UCD and Shelburne. That means, despite losing tonight, Bows remain on top, still 3 points clear of Derry, who lost, of course, at home to Drogheda tonight. Bit of moving a night for Shamrock Rovers, who cut the gap. They're now only 7 points off the leaders, and we'll reflect on that, Brian, because it turned out to be a very good night all round this evening for Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, a very significant night in the overall look of the table. It reduces the lead to 7 points between themselves and Bohemians, and obviously they're only 4 behind Derry, which I think is very important too. Big match for Bows now to go to Derry on Monday. It'll be a difficult one after that performance tonight, but they've got to regroup. Derry also beaten tonight, but Shamrock Rovers deserved to win, played well tonight all through the pitch. They dominated at the back, were in top in the midfield. One spoke and Jack Bourne got a hold of it, and up front they were too much of a threat and deserved comfortable winners overall.
Would you go along with that, Ian?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Rovers showed their real quality, the depth that they have in the squad with the illness and injury coming into the game. And they were able to go out and perform like that and pick up 3 points. So that could kick Rovers off now.
Back-to-back wins for Rovers, back to where they want to be now, Brian.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be bits of it. I mean, I think it was a difficult one having to make those changes after winning 4-0 last week and losing Towell and O'Neill from the middle of the pitch. But Ian said that they've got depth in the squad and they were able to deal with no bother. And Ferrugia was really good again tonight down the right-hand side. And the 2-0 scoreline didn't flatter them.
Yeah, they certainly were good tonight. My thanks to Ian and Brian for their thoughts tonight. Bohemians had to serve some penance against the big Dublin rivals, but it was very, very good night for the champions Shamrock Rovers. Good night.